everybody, and welcome back to Cuphead. Picking up right after where we left off in the last episode, the previous episode, the episode before this one. Let's equip our new roundabout shot and pay a visit to one of the more annoying bosses in the game. Yes, meet Beepus the Clown. Yeah, you'll see why we have this particular shot in a little bit. I actually think I might have used the straight laser and the... Because in my previous playthrough, I didn't buy the roundabout shot until fairly early on. You'll see why we want this, though, trust me. Ow. This guy's one of the trickier bosses in this world here. I mean, this, like, area of levels, not, you know, this world in the this world is corrupt kind of sense. Also, the game says he's a clown. He doesn't really look like a clown to me. He looks like some kind of frickin', I don't know, like a Party City employee who's really tired of his job and has gone mad. That was terrible. We actually got to the second phase right at the end there, I think, because I saw him fall off the railroad. But, not the railroad, you know what I mean, the track here. But, you know. I can only abide so many mistakes so early on. Usually I prefer to clear the entire first phase without getting hit. That's the way you make room for success later on. Yeah, my voice is starting to get a little hoarse. Thankfully, now that I have 3 nights a week to record instead of just 1, hopefully that'll happen a little bit less often. Anyway, this is why you want the roundabout shot. Take care of these weird dog balloons. Dog balloons! They're coming at you, they are dog balloons. Nobody knows what they are. They're dog balloons. And yes, that was a Todd in the Shadows reference, because I live in 2008. I think the show actually didn't start until 2010. That's beside the point. Now this phase I'm sure looks easy. Trust me, it's not. And we still got one more after this too. Although, if I'm very lucky, we can kind of... Nah, never mind. I was gonna say, if I'm very lucky, we can kind of cheese it, but... No cheddar for us today. Let me take a sip of my tea here. Charlie Horse. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it at all. Okay. Getting the parry bonus on this level has to be a nightmare, by the way. I have never successfully parried one of those ducks. I'm sure you can do it, but it seems like it would be a real pain in the rear end. I don't know why I'm suddenly so adverse to swearing. I think I called the Frog Brothers fuckboys in the first episode, and now I don't know. I'm kind of more cognizant of the fact that, like, little kids might be watching this, because Cuphead, I mean, it's a cartoon, you know? It's got that cutesy style, and, let me tell you something. Since I beat the game, I have seen far, far, far more, illicit fan art of the protagonist and his brother than I ever wanted to. Not that I'm judging people or anything, but, you know... It's one of those things you don't really expect to run into unless you go looking for it, but oh boy, you can. Okay. Now that I have Dog Police stuck in my head from earlier, let's show Beepus the Clown. Sponsored by Pepsi. Hey, there we go. Who we are, who we aim to be, what the moral of this story is. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've gone into, like, full Raocowism now. There's a religion for you, Raocowism. Convert today. Actually, I didn't have Spread Shot the last time I did this, and it's looking like Spread Shot is also pretty good at taking out these dogs. So, I don't know. Dog balloons. Nobody knows what they are. I was hoping I'd be able to get through that scot-free. Who's scot-free, you ask? Don't ask such silly questions. I shouldn't stand there, actually. Ooh. I guess I failed to parry the nose of the roller coaster. Failed to parry the nose of the roller coaster. Now, there's a series of words that make no sense outside of this game. Why, most roller coasters don't even have nostrils, let alone fully developed noses. Let me just check something actually real quick before we get back into this. Okay. Ever since that one Gungeon episode where I forgot to turn the capture box on, I always get super paranoid that I forgot to do it. So I end up often checking mid-episode. Which is probably quite annoying, but, you know, it's become an irrational fear at this point. I will say, at the risk of jinxing myself to an early death of this particular try here, I'm finding this guy a lot less difficult than I did the first time. I think it might be in part because I have the spread shot. Charge is also good here, I would assume. Anything that does a lot of damage. Now hit me with that roller coaster one more time. I don't know what song that is that I just decided to make about roller coasters. Maybe this will not be easier than it was last time, you know? Okay, well we got his balloon phase all tied up. Ooh. Dashed right into there. That's why you shouldn't dash unnecessarily. Just ask the organizers of infamous 2012 failed convention event DashCon. That joke might have been in poor taste. I don't actually remember really what happened there. I just remember that people were not happy. A ball pit was involved? I don't know. Smackaroony. Smackaroony. What has become of my vocabulary? This game changes you, man. Start talking like an old-timey vaudeville comedian. Is it pronounced vaudeville or is it like vaudeville? I'm not actually sure. I think it's vaudeville. But the word looks French, so it might not be. You know, I'm just gonna stop overthinking it. Okay. That one always gets me. I'm surprised it didn't right there. Let's smack him with our laser beam and get smacked in turn, and then we die. Alright. Well, you know, it be like that sometimes. They don't think that it be like it is, but it do. You know, I've always wondered where that phrase comes from. The only time I remember ever seeing a source for it was like on a newspaper clipping from like the 80s. It's actually pretty comprehensible once you stop and think about it for a second. All that person is saying is they don't think things are like they are, but they actually are. Which, when you put it that way, is actually maybe even a more confusing way to say that, so I don't blame him for trying to switch up his particular choice of words, you know? A real high-class bout. Actually, I'm from America. Aiming to make that absolutely horrendously unfunny joke at least once an episode. We'll see if I succeed or not. It is still the same Friday night, by the way. that I was recording recording the last episode on, in case you were curious. I usually record these in pairs. Just, not for Cuphead specifically necessarily, but just like in general. I'm staying too close to the car. That's my downfall here. Ah, that was just stupid. Trying to show off. There's no need to show off. Simply succeeding in Cuphead is you know, it's enough of a difficult thing to do. Not to be all you know, ooh, I'm so hardcore. You know, here's a free, like, you know, Tumblr post idea for you. You do one of those me and Gamer GF posts. Baby, you're so hard, and the other person goes, not as hard as Cuphead. You see, it's very simple. You could just, like, put any hard game in there, really, but Cuphead is like the new hotness, so it'll get lots of notes, I'm sure. I don't really make my own Tumblr posts, or else I might do that myself. Hell, maybe I still will. Well, that was a completely botched parry. And that was too. You're not funny, Pepsi the Clown. You're not funny. Alright. Again, persistence is really the real key in Cuphead. You can switch up your weapons, you can switch up your tactics. That's all well and good, but, you know, it's like that one reggae song goes, you can get it if you really try, but you must try. Try. I think I also messed up the lyrics to that, so, you know. But hey, you know, what do you expect? That was actually really good. Probably, like, one of the better ones I've done. One of the better parries, I mean. Maybe I should switch back to the boomerang shot? I don't know. Okay, we got dogs coming in. We got the roller coaster coming in. Dog balloons. They're coming from all sides, they're dog balloons. Nobody knows what they are. Except that I just said that they're dog balloons. They're coming from all sides, they're dog balloons. They were a real pain in the ass. Oh boy. Okay. There we go. I'm actually starting to wonder if maybe homing shot would be fine here too. Oh lord. I don't know why I keep getting hung up on the horse stage. I mean, it's not like I didn't have problems with it the first time, but I don't know. Maybe it is the hardest stage. But, yeah, let's try homing. We'll see if that produces more satisfactory results. I'm actually going to put spread shot on top here, and then put chaser on the secondary. You know what would be a fun, like, challenge mode to add for the super hardcore? There already actually is like a pacifist mode in the game that you unlock by doing some ridiculous nonsense. But like a melee weapon, like a little sword or something. Like, I would suggest a straw, but he's already got a straw sticking out of his head, so I don't know. I think that would be fun. You know, you can make it do a decent amount of damage, but just for simply how close you'd have to get to all the bosses. Although, I don't know, I guess kind of the spread shot's that already, isn't it? It's not quite a melee weapon, obviously, but sometimes it sure feels like one. Cuphead Hollow Knight crossover when? I actually wanted to play Hollow Knight on the channel too, back when that came out, but it doesn't run. It runs on my computer, but it locks up about every half hour for some reason, which is not really conductive to being recorded, unfortunately. Also, Hollow Knight's like a lot longer than Cuphead, so there's that too. Then if you don't get the true ending, everybody kvetches at you. I don't know why I say kvetch, I'm not Yiddish. I think I picked it up from, like, I don't know, I'm sure I picked it up from somebody, I'm just not sure who. I think for this one, we will just try to focus on dodging and let the homing shot take care of the actual damage dealing. Although we do have a beam, so why don't we get that in there? Try not to get hit. Awesome. There we go. Got to the final phase with 3 HP to spare. Let's see if we can knock this out. Fourth phase is no joke either. Yeah, he turns into, you know, I'm not really sure what you'd call this. But he sure does turn into it. We had him! Concern it all. That's alright. You can get it if you really want, but you must try. Try it, try. I think it says a lot about the quality of this game that I don't mind, A, fighting all these bosses that I've already fought before, and B, losing to them repeatedly despite having beaten them at least once before. Like, it really is a game that, I mean, people say this about stuff like Dwarf Fortress and whatnot, it's kind of a meme, but people say this, blah, 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 blah. I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Yeah, it makes losing fun, kind of. Because you always get that, like, oh, if I had just done X, I could have pulled that one off, or, you know, I want to go back and try that again to get a better grade on the card at the end, that kind of thing. Despite being a relatively short game, well, I don't know, I spent, like, maybe... How long would I say I've spent? Probably, like, 12-ish hours doing the main game. I do have a logged amount of time on Steam, but that doesn't account for me playing it for the Let's Play, and also streaming it a couple times, and, like, just having it on in the background, idling occasionally. So that's probably not quite accurate. Point is, you know, it's a good game. Little something for everybody in this one. I do wish that the simple difficulty let you actually finish the game. Not for my convenience, because I like things to be a little bit difficult, you know. But, you know, you get, like, little kids and stuff wanting to play this kind of game. I don't know. Although, I don't know. I played some pretty difficult games when I was a child. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. I do think the idea that Cuphead doesn't have a good easy mode is, like, design flaw is a little silly, but, hey, you know, whatever. That discussion's been done to death. Nobody wants to hear my opinion on it, especially not in the middle of me fighting Bopley the Clown here. Am I getting his name slightly wrong each time on purpose? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm a very funny lady. Heck. Stop, though? Like, I would rather you just died. There we go. With 1 HP left, as always. Yatta! Da-da-da-da. Only 5 on the super meter? That seems incorrect, but whatever. We got a B. Who can complain about a B? Really, as long as you're passing, it's fine, right? That was what I used to think in school. Yeah. I think I might have made that joke already, which if I did is going to make me look like a much more depressed person than I actually am. Let me see here. How long have we been at this? 21 minutes. I think that's enough time for me to make an earnest attempt at this right here. This is another run and gun level.
Here goes.
I'm gonna try to not to blah 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 blah. Once again, my commentary organ has failed me. The commentary organ, by the way, is also known as the mouth. I'm gonna try to not let myself get hung up on how long it takes or doesn't take to do all this stuff, just because, you know, yes, I've done it before, but it's a hard game. That's the entire appeal. Well, that's not the entire appeal, but that's part of the appeal. So, you know, not gonna be like, ooh, should I be embarrassed that it took me 20 minutes to beat Boppy the Clown? No. It's supposed to take you 20 minutes to beat Boppy the Clown. It's supposed to take you 20 hours to beat Boppy the Clown. Well, that was just stupid. It's a difficult game. You don't get to claim, you know, Gunstar Heroes and Alien Soldier as points of influence if you're not going to make a difficult game. And this is a difficult game. Is it as hard as those? I don't know. I've never played them. But I know that they're difficult, because I hear people say that, and if there's anything I've learned in my 23 years, it's that you can trust everything you learn on the internet. Yes, that was a joke. Sorry, I know I went silent there. Maybe you thought made you think that I was not joking, but rest assured, I know as much about disinformation as anybody. That actually, you know, when I phrase it that way, it makes it sound like I'm some kind of propagandist, which is also not true. But now I'm just digging myself deeper and deeper into this hole of trying not to mention, you know, anything ridiculous and failing at it. Hooty yada hooty yada. It's on indeed. Maybe I shouldn't be using the spread shot on this guy. Just realizing now that that's probably kind of like not the best way to go about doing that, but those guys are actually invincible. Ah, that was stupid. Oh, my shoulder's starting to get kind of sore. Goodness gracious. be going to physical therapy in 20 years. So what did you do as a youngin'? Were you an athlete? A wrestler of some kind? No, I occasionally played video games for the amusement of strangers on the internet. And the doctor will be like, oh, I see. I'm so sorry. Nah. There we go. These star things are the only enemies in the game that genuinely kind of creep me out. Everything else, no problem. I don't know what it is about these guys. I just don't like them. Alright, now this is a whole rigmarole here. Yeah. Forgot about those little floating guys. Okay. Honestly, I think the main difference between playing Cuphead for the first and second times is that you know you'll eventually be able to beat it the second time around. Whereas the first time, I guess it's more of an open question. But, you know. I'm not trying to blame my failures on the game. It's a good videogame. Yeah, by the way, if you're watching the series and you're, like, wondering, would I enjoy Cuphead? I mean, you probably would. The only thing I would recommend is, like, if you're really, like, not somebody who plays many platformers, maybe then it wouldn't be 100% your cup of tea, but, I mean, I think this is one of those games where anybody can become good at it with enough persistence. I don't think there's anything in here that's, like, particularly unfair or anything like that. I'm not gonna go as far as saying it's not hard. It has difficult moments, certainly. But is it truly hard if they let you try over and over again as much as you want? It's not like Contra, where if you die 3 times, you gotta go back to the start of the game. At least I think that's how Contra works. I've never actually played Contra. I know most of these ultra-hard, you know, SNES-era platformers more by legend than by first-hand experience. People tell me that Mega Man's kind of similar to this too, but I've actually played a little bit of Mega Man and I don't really agree. Mega Man's levels are a lot more... Well, for one thing, there are many levels, and for another thing, they're more, like... Not open, I don't know if that's the right word, but there's just kind of, they're longer, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Even the longest of the run-and-gun levels in this game are pretty short. Even though if it doesn't seem like it because I keep failing over and over, but... I assure you, this isn't actually super long. It just kind of seems that way right now. Maybe there's one up here we gotta be up here to pass by. Maybe not. I will say you never do quite get used to walking on the ceiling. Walking on the ceiling with my running shoes on. Life is an adventure, Indiana Jones. Ah, wait, no, it's, life's too short, my money's too long. Where does the Indiana Jones part come in? It doesn't matter. Nobody remembers Lil Wayne's verse on Rockstar by Travis Barker. Well, some people do, I'm sure. I mean, I do, but, you know. Am I the statistical average when it comes to Lil Wayne knowledge? I'm gonna say no. Not that I'm, you know, a scholar on his life or anything, but I'd say I know at least a little bit more than the average person. You know, there's room between complete neophyte and Andrew Nosnitsky. And that is probably the most obscure reference I will make in this video today. Is neophyte the word I was looking for there? I actually am not sure. Uh-oh. There we go. What a nice note to end the video on. Did we get all the coins? I wasn't paying too much attention, to be quite honest with you. We did get all the coins. Awesome. Get a B. We're gonna head to Pork Rinds. Gonna buy ourselves the coffee, because there is a pretty tough airplane level coming up. Ooh. Game's kinda bugging out a little bit. It does that every once in a while. I don't quite know why. I think it's not. I don't think it's the game necessarily. I think it's just that my computer's getting old. Yeah, hopefully I can get this thing upgraded in a year or two. We're gonna pick up the coffee, and we have enough money to pick up the charge blast too. So we're gonna do that as well. All right, so I will see you guys next time. Leave a like if you like the video. You know, liking the video, and subscribe if you would like to see more Cuphead every Saturday and Sunday, and Indie Bazaar on Wednesdays. See you next time, everybody.